Yo, what's good? So look, I want to talk to you guys once again about what I was saying before about having an Africa plan. And basically, what is an Africa plan? A lot of people probably ask. An Africa plan is that perhaps things don't go well where you are, whether you're in the United States, whether you're in the United Kingdom, China, wherever you are, things may not go so well for you, especially if you're out there in France. You know what I'm saying? So black people, it's basically what some people have been saying is a call home for the African diaspora. Come home. Basically, they're calling us back to the continent. And the Africa plan is for you to be able to have something that you can do, or some place that you can go in order for you to be able to take your family and all of your belongings and whatnot and move to the continent somewhere. The continent, I call it Africa, the continent, because it is the continent. It's the continent that's sustaining every other continent. And that's why so many people are going into Africa now. You got the Chinese, you got the Russians, you got, of course, the Europeans, the Brits, France, Portuguese, Spain. All these people have basically been in Africa, colonizing. But now that it's modern Africa, things are changing. And I'm saying, look, man, it's time for me to go over there and get it popping. Now, this is what I want to say about this Africa plan. I decided to do it and go for it now because things are really cheap now. You know what I'm saying? I have some money that I'm able to spend in order for me I can go over there. I can find some property. I could buy a house. I can open up a business. And have such beautiful people over there. So the time is now. And the reason why I say the time is now is because they have a lot of people, like I just said just before, that are going into Africa and they're investing. Like I said, they got the Chinese, the Russians, and so forth and so on. Japanese. These people are going into Africa, man. They're developing Africa. They're building infrastructure. And they're paving roads. The Chinese are building trains. You know what I'm saying? The Russians are beefing up Africa's military and whatnot. So it's just a lot of things that are being done in order for Africa to become modernized. And one of the things that is being pushed right now is having a United States of Africa. And that's why it's really pertinent for black people in the diaspora to have an Africa plan. To have an Africa plan. Go there, see what it is that you can see. Different countries. For my first trip, I'm going to be landing in Kenya. I'm planning to go to check out Uganda. I'm planning to check out Rwanda, of course, definitely Rwanda. I made Rwanda the last stop because Rwanda is the most developed country in Africa, so I've heard. They're really trying to modernize Rwanda, and if you know anything about Southeast Asia, there's one of the cleanest countries in Southeast Asia is Singapore. Singapore is clean. You can't even spit on the ground in Singapore, okay? So what they say is that Rwanda is the Singapore of Africa. And, Rwanda, they have changed a lot of laws. Lately, they are not colonized anymore. They have just launched a brand new smartphone. And they're doing big things in Rwanda. So I really want to go out there and check it out. Now, Uganda being the second one, because they call Uganda the Pearl of Africa. So that's to say that, Uganda is modernized as well. And there's a lot of things to see and get involved in when it comes to Uganda. And Uganda is probably, I believe, a bit cheaper than Kenya or Rwanda. So Uganda might be an ideal place, maybe, that you might want to check out. You can go there, find some land, buy some property and whatnot. Now, that brings us to the first one, where I'm going to be landing in Nairobi, Kenya. I picked Kenya because Kenya is it's the trade hub of Africa. Now, they have a port out there in Kenya. It's one of it's the biggest shipping ports in Africa as of now, as far as I know, and it's very active. And so they have quite a few different people that are coming into Kenya doing trading, opening businesses, building hotels. When I say building infrastructure, what I meant was they're building high-rise apartment buildings or high-rise condos in Kenya. And not only just in Nairobi, but they're building them in Mombasa. And Mombasa is is basically where the shipping port is in Kenya. It's like the beach there. I've heard they have such nice beaches there in Mombasa. So definitely planning to stay about a week or two in Kenya. But I figured maybe I could take a week and go and check out Uganda, take another week and go check out Rwanda. And then after that, I'll just come back and catch a flight out of Jomo Airport in Nairobi, Nairobi, Kenya. So basically, that's the whole bulk of the plan. To get there, see what I can see. I'm probably going to travel around by bus and by train. This is what I do when I go to these different countries. I always catch the bus, usually the bus, for example, except in China, because here in China, I live here. So here in China, they have a fast train. People call it a bullet train. And, China is so big, there are certain places that I need to get to. Catching a bus, it's going to take me days to get there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not 100% sure about Africa as far as their train. I know that when I go to the Philippines, I always catch the bus. It takes about a few hours to get to different places sometimes. Sometimes it'll only take about 45 minutes. And any other island in the Philippines where I want to go to, I'll just fly there, of course. Boats are very slow. Also, when I go to Thailand, I guess it's a little different. The bus is actually faster than the train, but I feel that I can see more of the countryside and more landscape by riding the train. Now, I'm taking the train in Thailand from North Thailand all the way to Pattaya. So, it's pretty far. So I've seen a lot. But I digress. I just want to get back on the whole Africa plan thing. So going there, I feel that I will be able to travel around either by bus or train and try to see as much land as I can see. So the Africa plan is this for me. I want to go there. I want to find some land. I want to purchase some land. I prefer to build my own home. So I would like to purchase the land and then just build my own home. Build it the way I want it to be built and how I want it to be built. But the first things first would be to get the land. There's also an opportunity for you to buy condos, and you can buy a house that's already built and so forth and so on. But me, personally, I think that I would want to buy my own land first and then build the house myself. So that's my first plan, is just to get me some property. because one thing I was thinking about last year when I first started working at this school is that if I was to leave, if I'm to leave China, right, and go on a trip or something, and something would happen, where would I go? When I say something would happen, like if I was to leave China, and with me leaving China, I'm going on a trip, right? So I have things that I want to buy, like computers, TVs, not necessarily. I'm just using that as an example. Furniture, stuff like that, or when I travel around, I buy things, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring this back to my home. And it's gonna be with me. It's like a decoration or something, a painting or ornament or something like that. And I want to bring it back to my house. Where am I gonna put it? In my apartment that is not actually mine. It belongs to the school. I'm just using it so long as I work here. So, and I kept asking myself, okay, so what happens if all of a sudden one day I say, you know what, I decide I want to go work at another school. I can't live at this apartment. You know what I'm saying? I can't live at this apartment, and leave my stuff there and then go from this apartment to the school. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I will have to pack all that stuff up with me and take it with me. So long story short, I was thinking, well, if that's the case, I need to have my own place. Why don't I have my own home? Have my own house? You know what I'm saying? If I can actually purchase my own house and have some place to put the things that I own. You know what I'm saying? I want to have my own home where I can just travel to there every 4 months. I can go to my house, a place that belongs to me. When I step in it and I say, look, this is mine. This is my castle. I'm the king of this castle. This is me. And I want that. I have nowhere to call home. Nowhere. I live in China. Even when I go back to the U.S., I don't have a home in the U.S. I don't have a house in the U.S. I stay with people when I go to the U.S. So I'm like, man, I don't want to be a bum. And that's one thing that's very important to me is that I'm 35 years old. I don't have any kids yet, and I'm not married. Why? Because I don't have a home. I don't have my own spot. How are you going to have a family and you don't have a place to put it? So this is my whole plan. It's like, man, let me have something that I can call my own first. And then I can go out and say, hey, look, let me get a woman. Let me get a car. Let me have some kids. I think that a lot of times us black people in the diaspora, we hustling backwards. We are hustling backwards. And you look at social media and you look at the industry, the entertainment industry, and you see that the black people in the entertainment industry, the first thing that they do when they get money is buy cars. You know what I'm saying? They buy cars. But see, the thing about buying cars, maybe back then, when Biggie Smalls was rapping and stuff like that, maybe that was a good time for you to buy cars. You know what I'm saying? But I take that back because not even that time was a good time for you to buy cars. The time when they had black people had their own companies and they were building cars, at that time it was a good time for you to buy cars as black people. But now, what do you need a car for? Where are you gonna go with a car? How can you take a car? If something is to fucking happen in the U.S. or wherever you are, and you need to get out of there, do you think that you'll be able to take that car with you? I think not. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you should have some land. And I say this is the reason why the Africa plan is so pertinent, is that people be like, well, man, I live in the U.S. I could buy land in the U.S. Yeah, you can buy land in the U.S. But once you buy land in the U.S., you still got to pay on that land. You got to pay property taxes. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't pay your property taxes, they come back and take the property from you. So, nothing in the U.S. is free. But from what I'm hearing and what I'm going to go and explore and investigate is that when you purchase property and land in Africa, it's yours. There's no more taxes on it. It's yours forever. I've heard that you can keep it for 99 years, 100 years or something like that, and then you got to give it back. But, bro, even if that is the case, 100 years is a long time. You know what I'm saying? You can buy property, develop it, and sell it. That's how you do it in real estate anyway. You buy and sell. Right now, my goal is to buy my first home. And I know that I want to have my first home in a place where I know that it's safe. I know that it's straight. I know that the economy is stable. And you'd be like, well, how do you know that the African economy is stable? The reason why I know this is because, like I said, everyone is coming into Africa. Everybody wants a piece of Africa. Why do they want a piece of Africa? Because Africa has all the resources. And in fact, in Congo, the Congo is not yet a part of the African Union. But I want to say this: the African Union is based on the 3 countries that I'm planning on going to, and a few more countries like Tanzania. But Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, these are all part of the African Union. Congo is right next to Rwanda, and it wants to become a part of the African Union. So they're getting that into in order. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Congo has one of the minerals that is needed in order for this cell phone to work. In order for any of the cell phones to work, they need a type of mineral that is only in Congo. You get what I'm saying? So all of the stuff, gold, diamonds, oil now. They're doing the big things with the oil in Kenya now. Russia and Kenya are doing a little oil deal. All that stuff is in Africa. Everything you need is in Africa. Everything, anything that you need in order to survive any country, in order for it to progress, is in Africa. That's why all these countries are going into Africa. For example, Russia. Russia is cold. It's cold as I don't know what out there in Russia. If you ain't never been to Russia, I was in a layover in Russia, and it was freezing. It was negative 30 outside, and Russia's cold as hell. So crops cannot grow freely out there in Russia. They can take the crops underground or put them in greenhouses or whatever, but they lack sunlight, so you're not getting the nutrients that you need out there in Russia. So therefore, they have to cut deals with African countries for them to get their food. I mean, there's other countries that they can get their food from, but that's just one example. Same thing in China. Here in China, yeah, they grow food here, of course, because I eat it, of course, but not like that. Another thing, they don't have that many animals out here in China. The 2 main animals that they have out in China, 3 main animals. The 3 main animals that they have out here in China are pandas, and they don't eat those, pig, and goats. So those are the 2 main things, pigs and goats. And then, of course, they have cows. But here's the reason why they have these animals, because it's cold here in China. You know what I'm saying? China borders Russia. You know what I'm saying? It's cold in China. And they have the southern part of China, which is like Shenzhen, Guangzhou. Majority of the Africans in China stay in Guangzhou. And that's because it's pretty warm year round, but it still gets cold down there in Guangzhou as well. So, they have a city down there in Guangzhou. Guangzhou is a city, but they have a part of the city of Guangzhou down there called Chocolate City. And that's where most of the Africans live here in China. So, with all this stuff being said, this comes down to back to having the Africa plan, get you some land, get you some property, and move on it. So I'm going to go ahead on and cut off and start a new video. And basically what I'm doing, you guys, is I'm practicing. These are my practice videos, and I figured, I can post my practice videos. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Just keep posting videos and keep doing it, because you don't get good at something without practice. And practice makes perfect. So I figure, look, I can't just wait until I have a perfect video and then put it on there and then say, bam, this is my debut video. No, I'm just going to just make videos and talk until I get better at, posting videos. So, this is one of my post videos. I'm going to do another video, basically just talking about the Africa plan. Going a little bit more in depth to what my Africa plan is. And yeah, on the next one.